Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today it is 1st of June 2020 and we are discussing our chapter that is constitutional design, and in this chapter we have to begin with the constitution of South Africa, the democratic constitution of South Africa that we will be discussing today. As we know, in the introductory lecture I have told you that in South Africa there was a system of racial discrimination which was imposed by the whites, that is apartheid, in which we see segregation laws. There were separate schools, separate colleges, separate, everything was separate for blacks. It was most oppressive for the blacks in South Africa. So that oppressive regime has to end because people cannot people cannot tolerate all the oppression for long. So a struggle against the oppressive regime, this apartheid system, they began in South Africa under the leadership of Nelson Mandela, and uh, then we see how Nelson Mandela was imprisoned. He was kept in jail for 28 years, but since the support base, he has built the support base, and the African National Congress, that is the party, they worked hard to fight against this apartheid system, and finally they were successful in bringing an end to the system of apartheid government. And after that, after this apartheid system, apartheid government came to an end, we see now a march towards a new constitution. When there were mounting pressure on the government, the old regime, the apartheid government of the whites, because it were the whites who has imposed this discriminatory system in South Africa. They were compelled to do to end discriminatory laws. So discriminatory laws were repealed, and ban on political parties, ban on media, it was lifted. And we see Nelson Mandela walked out of jail after 28 years of imprisonment as a free man. So he walked out of jail as a free man, and we see this South Africa finally became a republic on 26th of April 1994. So before 1994, South Africa was the most undemocratic nation of the world, and after 1994, we see this South Africa became the model of democracy. How all this happened? It happened because of the efforts of the Nelson Mandela, efforts of the African National Congress, efforts of the whole people of South Africa. And this ANC, after this regime, the apartheid government came to an end. ANC, African National Congress, they made an appeal to, particularly Nelson Mandela made an appeal to his workers that we must forget what the old party, old government has done to us. Rather, we must believe in equality of all races, equality of men and women, and we should believe in social justice, human rights, human values. So on that basis, a new constitution is drafted in South Africa. We also see that both this both the parties, the party that was most oppressive, that ruled the country in a discriminatory way, that was most oppressive, and the party that led to freedom, both sit together and drafted a new constitution wherein all the democratic values, the values which makes South Africa a model of democracy, they were kept in the new constitution, in the new draft, because it was discussed and debated for almost 2 years. Discussions and debates were held for 2 years, and finally South Africa got one of the finest constitution of the world. And we see, we can see the spirit of the constitution in the preamble of the constitution. How democratic it is. Why it is called now the model of democracy, the, the model constitution. That is that is all contained in the preamble of the constitution of South Africa. So this constitution was finally made, debated and discussed for 2 years, and South Africans and the people of South Africa, they got a finest constitution. It is such a constitution that it inspires democrats all over the world. It is now an inspiration for democrats. The people who believe in democracy, it is an inspiration for them. It is a model of democracy. It was the determination of people of South Africa who turned bitter experiences into a glue of rainbow nation. So it is how the new constitution of South Africa came into being, and South Africa became a democratic nation on 26th of April 1994. Tomorrow we will discuss why do we need a constitution. Till then, thank you.